Good afternoon, everyone, and it's your girl Chanel from Complex Simplicity. I just wanted to do a vlog on some staples and essentials that we all can benefit from having in our kitchens. So yes, I'm been a wife for about 2 years now, over 2 years, and cooking is definitely a regular, even prior to me getting married. Cooking was something that became a regular thing for me to do because guess what? Couldn't afford to eat out all the time. And so I'm finding as I cook a lot more now than ever that there are certain staples and essentials that are very beneficial for me to always have in my kitchen, in my refrigerator, in my cupboards, all of that. And so without further ado, the first staple I will say that I always have to have is extra virgin olive oil. For those that may not know, olive oil to me is important to have because you can use it for a myriad of different things and reasons. I use it when I'm making different pasta dishes. I use it when I'm, sauteing things on top of the stove. I use it when I am making different dishes or I'm cooking with meats, Italian dishes, all kinds of things. I prefer to use extra virgin olive oil as opposed to using Crisco or maybe less healthier options. I know vegetable oil is another option. If I happen to run out of olive oil, my backup is to kind of have vegetable oil in the cabinets. Another staple I would say that I always have is vinegar. I have to have vinegar, and that's because I use it definitely to clean a lot of my meats. I use vinegar, I'll use lemons, I'll use limes, either or, but definitely, I have like a nice big bowl that I use to clean my meats. I fill it with water and put a little vinegar in there and let the meats just soak and clean a little bit before I start preparing and seasoning and cooking. So I think that's also a good thing to have. Even when I'm making some of my marinades, I also may add a little vinegar because I like that acidic punch. So vinegar is something I have to have. Even ketchup, Heinz ketchup, is a hidden secret ingredient that I use a lot in my cooking. I don't know if a lot of you know out there, but ketchup has so many other amazing purposes than just to have on top of your French fries, or for those that like to put it on their eggs. I use ketchup in a lot of the different sauces, marinades that I make when I'm stewing and stewing, that's the word, right? So when I'm like doing beef stews or different things, it's kind of that secret 1-2 punch kick of an ingredient that I like to use. I also always try to have tomato paste, which is what I learned from my mother as well as my mother-in-law. Tomato paste is great for different sauces. It kind of gives it that rich feeling, that nice texture, great flavor. So I always try to have tomato paste and Heinz ketchup in the house. Another staple, lemons, like I mentioned before. Lemons are another ingredient or item that is used for a myriad and multitude of reasons. Not only just for cooking. I like to use sometimes the zest of a lemon depending on what I'm preparing. I definitely like to use the juice of a lemon. I like to even slice the lemon in round circles when I'm making like my famous lemon salmon buttery kind of dish. Garlic dish is amazing. But lemon is also great if you're experiencing a little nausea, stomach issues like that. Suck on a lemon briefly and let me tell you, it'll knock out that nausea. You will instantaneously have a settled stomach. I know a lot of pregnant women say that lemon is their go-to that they carry in a Ziploc bag because when that morning sickness creeps wherever they are, they can kind of just suck on it and settle their stomachs. So we always like to have lemon in the house. One thing that my mom did teach me, I was on my own from the time I was 23. I first lived a few years with a friend where we shared an apartment, and then I was completely on my own. And my mom used to always say to me, Chanel, there are certain dishes, not dishes, but there's certain staples you have to have in your house, in your kitchen, because you never know when you may fall on hard times. So she said, you always want to make sure you have grits, you always want to make sure you have rice, and you always want to make sure you have some form of pasta in the house. She said, because when you fall on those hard times, when you can't order or eat out, and where you can't really go to the grocery store and buy anything because you don't really have it like that, you can always eat and feel satisfied. And she's so right, because I definitely went through my financial moments and had those hard days being on my own for several years before I got married. And I would make grits Ain't nothing like a hot bowl of grits that's buttery, that has some pepper, salt in there, that has even what am I trying to think of? Even Parmesan cheese. Sometimes I would sprinkle my grated Parmesan cheese in there, make it creamy, cheesy. Let me tell you, you almost forget that you didn't have any eggs, you didn't have any shrimp, you didn't have any salmon, and nothing else to go with it. You know, sticks to your ribs, and you're full, you're content, you're satisfied. Definitely same with pasta. There were times where I would boil pasta. I'm like, oh yeah, I do have some noodles in the house, some spaghetti or rigatoni or whatever. I would boil it, and then I would season it up real good, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, all of that. You would forget that you didn't have any meat or anything else to go with it because it would be so good. One day I had made that for my husband when he was my boyfriend, and he was like, yo, this thing is off the chain. And I say, yeah, my mom always taught me this trick. You know, sometimes you're gonna see those hard days, and I definitely did. For those out there who are on their own and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to make ends meet, that could maybe be something helpful for you, because there are times where it's like, I have to pay this Con Edison bill, can't go grocery shopping this week. It happens. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, lived it. But let me tell you, regardless of the fact, there are ways that you learn to survive and cut corners. And rice is another big staple. I always try to make sure I have rice in the house till this day, because every time that we entertain or we have guests, I'm always trying to incorporate rice with whatever it is I'm making, even if it's a chili, because rice stretches meals very well. And also, you know, I enjoy rice every now and then, and my husband enjoys rice every now and then. So we always try to have that, you know, in the cupboards as well. Another thing is chicken stock. I really wasn't onto it until I started watching a lot of cooking shows. Like, I watch a lot of cooking shows just out of pleasure. I'm kind of like my dad in that regard. My dad watches a lot of cooking shows just for fun. And I really started to learn and pick up techniques and understand the flavors that really go together and what this is used for. And in most cooking shows you will find, they always have some kind of chicken stock, vegetable stock, beef stock, whatever. And it's so much more useful than just soups. You know, you can use it for a whole bunch of different things. And I definitely use it to add flavor to certain dishes that I'm making. You know, it sometimes is also good to add I don't want to say a fluid effect, but to give your dish more fluid or consistency. It's not bad to use. So I always try to make sure that we have chicken stock in the house. Bouillon cubes as well. I'm huge on making soups when it's cold. I made a soup last night when I came home from work. It was real quick and easy. It was very good. My husband loved it. So bouillon cubes I always keep in the house, because the beauty of making soups, as I've expressed before in an audio recording that I did for my working wives, is the fact that you can make your soup with whatever you have in your cupboard. So if you have rice, if you got a little bit of chicken, even if you had shrimp, there were times where I would make a seafood soup. Yes, I would. I would have shrimp in there, some pieces of fish. I'd have potato, some green banana plantains. Like, soup is whatever you make it. But if you have that bouillon cube, that's good to help base your flavor, and you build from that with whatever your lean or your take is. My husband and I, we like our soups a little bit spicy, and so I always like to play on the sweet spicy thing, which is why I'll have yellow banana in there, you know, so you feel like you're tasting different flavors and you're coming across different textures. So bouillon cubes I think are also good to have if that's what you're into. And overall, my husband and I like to keep our freezer stocked with certain meats. Always chicken breasts. You could do so much with chicken breasts. You can use it for soups. I make a nice chicken ranch Parmesan spin on it, which is great. You can pop it in the oven. It's very simple and very easy. Maybe I'll do a written blog about the recipe one day. You can also use it, you know, sometimes when we have a twinge or we're in the mood to fry, which we rarely do, you know, chicken breast is something that you can fry. It's something I do chicken chili sometimes. I don't always want to have chili with, you know, ground turkey. So it's a versatile type of meat, and it's more on the leaner, healthier side. And because my husband and I, you know, we try our best to live more healthy lifestyles, you know, chicken breast is definitely a staple that we have. Fish, we love salmon, tilapia, other fish we try to always have available, as well as ground turkey. We don't really do ground beef like that. Eating like a beef burger is like a treat when we go out to a restaurant. For us, going out to restaurants is a treat, because most of our eating is done in the home, like I've said before in previous vlogs, you know, to save money as well as to be a little bit healthier, and you know what you're putting in the food, right? So, you know, we'll have a little beef burger and enjoy beef ribs or something like that if we go out or holidays. But like for the most part, we're like chicken, fish, ground turkey. My husband does enjoy a good steak. You know, at the firehouse, they're big on eating steak and whatnot. So, you know, we'll have steak and make it, you know, I'll prepare it for my husband because I know that that's something he likes and enjoys. And so, you know, we try to keep it simple, but always just have our staples there. If it runs out, we try to replenish it. This way, you know, you're not always having to stop what you're doing, rush home from work to go to the grocery store. I'll be completely honest, my first year of marriage, that's what I did. I was always working late, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I have to rush to the grocery store and pick up this, and this. And after a while, I'm like, Chanel, you know the things that you cook often. You know the types of things that you guys eat regularly. Just have the stuff in the house as best as you can. This way you're not always running. Don't get me wrong. I do go to the grocery store. I'm a big snacker. So sometimes I need to replenish my pretzels and carrots and the things that I love to eat, you know, but at the same time, I like knowing that a majority of what is needed to create a meal, I can kind of make it happen in the house, you know? Okay, Dad, we ran out of rice, but I have potatoes. Potatoes is another great staple. I like the red skin potatoes, where they're small, they're soft, you boil them, you can eat it just like that. So I always try to have some kind of starch. If I don't have rice, if I don't have potatoes, you best believe there is some pasta in there. You can always create a dish. Always create a meal. And so hopefully this is helpful to any of you out there, you know, who used to be like me, always having to run to the grocery store every time you were about to cook. That can be expensive, and that can be, you know, very time consuming and annoying, you know, so it's just certain staples that we all can have. I would love to hear from you as far as the staples that you always have in your cupboards and refrigerator and in your kitchen overall. Let's have this conversation. Let's help one another. Anyway, continue to head to the website, ComplexSimplicity.com. Thank you for all the love, and until next time.